This is the story of how a bizarre obsession with a lost delicacy led to one of medicine's greatest breakthroughs. You don't want to miss this. Our story begins in the early 15th century, when trade routes to the east were expanding rapidly. Among the various treasures imported into Europe, silks, spices, exotic fruits, there was a certain item that caught the imagination of noble families and merchants alike. An odd little delicacy called bezors. If you've never heard of a bezor, let me enlighten you. A bezor is a solid mass that forms in the stomachs of certain animals, typically goats. It was exotic, rare, and most importantly, thought to have supernatural medicinal properties. Word had spread that a bezor could counteract any poison. Yes, you heard that right. Any poison. It was said that just a touch of a bezor could neutralize the deadliest toxins known to man. Naturally, this made bezors immensely valuable. Royals, wealthy patrons, and alchemists clamored to own them. Some saw them as status symbols. Others stocked them in apothecaries, declaring them essential medical tools. It was bezor fever. And that brings us to the curious figure of Ambroise Paré, a French surgeon in the 16th century. Paré was skeptical of these miraculous claims. After all, there was little solid evidence, mostly hearsay and folklore supporting the bezor's reputation. And so Paré devised an audacious, some might say reckless, experiment to test the bezor's so-called powers. Enter our unfortunate test subject, a man convicted of theft who was scheduled for execution. Rather than meet his end by conventional means, this man agreed to participate in Paré's experiment. The deal was simple. If the bezor could save him from poison, he would go free. Desperation makes for incredible offers, doesn't it? And so Paré gave the man a lethal dose of poison, administering it alongside the prized bezor. What happened next shocked everyone. The subject didn't recover. The poison coursed through his body, as though the bezor hadn't existed at all. Within hours, the man succumbed to the toxins. Word of Paré's experiment spread like wildfire. The idea of the infallible bezor was no longer sacred dogma. This unconventional method of inquiry, testing a widely held belief using direct observation and experimentation, would later be hailed as a precursor to the scientific method in medicine. And the story doesn't end there. Paré's dismissal of bezors spurred more skeptics to challenge other medical myths. By undermining deeply held but scientifically unsupported beliefs, he paved the way for centuries of scientific inquiry. Medicine, as we know it today, owes much of its development to moments like this, when individuals had the courage to question the status quo. But what's even more intriguing is human psychology. Why did people believe in the bezor so fervently? Some say it was desperation, a need for something to depend on in an unpredictable and often tragic world. Others suggest it was simply good marketing. After all, who wouldn't want an instant cure for poisons lurking in their soup or wine? So, was the bezor entirely useless? Not exactly. Today, bezors still have applications in medicine, but primarily for explaining rare and unusual masses within the human gastrointestinal tract, not for curing poison. What started as a medieval quirk ended up as a stepping stone in our endless quest for knowledge, proving that even the wildest of obsessions can lead to progress. So the next time you hear an outrageous medical claim, remember Ambroise Paré and the bezor, and maybe test it first.